Today on the Hire Me podcast, I have with me Tammy Waters-Manville. Let's jump right into learning how Tammy could be your next great hire and professional connection. Tammy, thank you for coming on and tell us about yourself.
Thank you, Chris. Well, officially, my name is Tamara Waters-Manville, but I prefer to go by Tammy. I'm a Bay Area native and I grew up within a family of educators, but I did not take the traditional education route. I worked throughout my education, taking the long road home, as the saying goes. Really, I'm many things. I'm a mother, a wife, a daughter, a sister, a friend. I'm a mixed woman of color. I've experienced loss and challenges, and I'm resilient. I find that it's because of all of these things that I am the person I am today, an effective HR and talent professional.
I love that. I love that description of you and you sharing that, and I appreciate that. So what
Thank
type
you.
of role are you looking for?
Ideally, I'd like to continue working within HR and recruitment in a role where I feel like my work makes a difference. I've spent the last 8 years working specifically within HR and have experience with most aspects of the job, but my greatest depth of experience is within recruitment, which is what I enjoy the most. I say this because every time you're reaching out to other people or recruiting, it's an opportunity both for the person and the organization. Each hire brings a chance for change, and you have the ability to help shape that change. So people who work within HR understand that finding new and existing talent is not just about finding the right hire, it's about shaping the future.
That's fantastic. I love that. So
Thanks.
when you look at the work that you've done and what you're looking forward to, what is it about that work that you love?
Well, in addition to the things I just mentioned, I love working with people and problem solving. I enjoy mentoring and onboarding new team members. I equally enjoy being a team member and learning from others. In general, collaboration has been integral to the role and the mission in all of the places I've worked.
That's fantastic. So I think you just touched on this a little bit, but can you share more about the cultures and leadership that you've worked with that help you thrive?
Absolutely. That's a really good question. So I appreciate leaders who know their team members and challenge their team to utilize their individual and collective strengths. Leaders who care about where their employees are and where they want to go. And I especially thrive with leadership that is passionate and genuinely believes as much as I do about the work and how we can tie the work to the bigger picture.
That's fantastic because alignment is so key, and truly understanding alignment within an organization and within your team is so critical to moving things forward. So I love that.
100%. Yeah.
So when you are asked, or a hiring manager asks, what kind of problem can you solve for them, their team, their company? How would you answer that?
I'm skilled in identifying system issues that impact the overall effectiveness of the organization. For example, in my last position, I identified some disparities during the hiring process, specifically during the debriefs where different hiring managers and interviewers were not aligned on how our hiring rubrics were being interpreted. This created potential issues for our hiring process. So I shared this with my team so that we could refine and calibrate our rubrics to ensure that there was both a high quality hire and also consistency across hiring managers and interviewers. I think in general, I'm noted for my attention to detail and ability to create and improve systems and structures using data to achieve these goals.
That's great. Thank you for sharing that specifically, because it really showcases how you are able to figure out what problems there are using data to back it up and solve a larger issue at hand that makes a much larger impact within the organization. So that's awesome. So what matters to you most?
I value continuing to amplify impact. So the type of work that I do matters. That also means that where and who I work for matters. It's important to me to be a part of a company or organization that I resonate with, a place with a strong sense of culture that lives a commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion, and one that sees each of us as valuable individual contributors in service to a wider vision.
That's fantastic. Well, Tammy, thank you again so much for coming on the Hire Me podcast. It was great learning more about your values, your skills, and your experiences, and how you bring those as a value add into any role that you go into. If you are watching or listening, be sure to connect with Tammy through the links in the description and the show notes. Make sure you subscribe, follow, and like all of our content here on the Hire Me podcast so we can continue elevating more of today's top talents. Take care.
Thank you so much, Chris.